Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Now I'm gonna celebrate the 1000 subscribers with this video by doing 1000 reps, right? And now this is gonna be a full leg workout, so I'm gonna just do exercises for the legs. And now this is gonna be a full workout because I'm gonna train every single joint, so hips, knees, ankles, and the foot also in every range of motion, every movement possible. So for example, on the hips I'm gonna train rotation, extension and flexion, abduction and adduction. Then on the knees I'm gonna train extension and flexion because even if there is a little bit of rotation of the knee, but it's not an active movement, so something that we can do with activating our muscles. Then in the ankle, of course, plantar flexion or dorsal flexion, and then a little bit of ankle and foot. I'm going to do inversion and eversion, so it's like supination and pronation, and that's going to be it. So I've split it. I've done a total amount of 25 exercises, and that means that if I want to reach 1000 total reps, I'm gonna be needing to do 40 reps for each exercise. And so I'm gonna do very simply 2 sets of 20 reps for each exercise. And yeah, the video is gonna be long. I will try to complete everything in less than an hour. Some exercises are gonna be very simple. Other ones are gonna be exercises that you all know. And at the same time as I'm doing the exercises, I will try to give you some tips about like physical therapy, rehabilitation, and what I've been learning by studying physical therapy. So yeah, let's go. So the very first exercise is gonna be hip rotation, and I'm gonna be placing myself in this position. All right, I'm gonna just move now sideways so you can see what happens in the hip joint. And now in this position here, I'm gonna just lay forward, and then I'm gonna leave the knee on the ground, and I'm gonna just lift my foot up, so like this. All right. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And 20, all right? And that is gonna be internal rotation, right? I'm using the weight of my lower leg to actually train my muscles. And now just doing the opposite, leaving the foot on the ground and lifting up the knee. And this is gonna be external rotation. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 20. And now I'm gonna do the same, but on the other hip. So same position here, laying forward, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. You should really be feeling the exercise right here. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 20. So here the internal rotators of the hip. And now instead external rotation. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 20. So that was the first set because I've done 20 one leg, 20 the other one, both internal, external rotation. So now I just need to do one more set to complete the total amount of 40. Alright, so here, position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. 10. So I'm always trying to at least lift off the foot from the ground. 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 20. So the harder part here is doing the internal rotation, because it's a movement that we don't really perform a lot in our daily life, and so it's harder to do. 4, 5, 6, 9. 20, okay, and 1, 2, 3. This is easier. And 20. So that was the first movement of the hips, rotation, and it's also pretty nice to do as a warm-up. Now, second movement of the hip, I'm going to do now abduction. So in this case, I'm going to take as example an exercise I've seen in Athlean's channel. I think this is one of the best abduction exercises I've ever seen, and you can really feel it on the muscles. And in this case, I'm going to just put an elastic band here around my foot, you can see. And now I'm just moving one step right, and then I'm following with the other foot. One step left and following. Now 2 steps right and 2 steps left. And you can see that I'm always trying to lift from the ground my feet and controlling the movement when I'm going out. Right, and 4, and when I'm going in, so controlling both sides. And now here doing 5, 3, 4, 5, and other leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And that should be, if I counted correctly, for each side, it should be 20 reps. All right. So from right leg and left leg. And now I'm gonna just do the same. Going down, so starting from 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now doing again 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Always trying to keep the hips as extended, as neutral as possible, and not like doing this. We're trying to make the exercise a little easier. 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 1. Here we go. So now abduction done. These are very nice exercises, especially if instead than keeping the numbers low as I've done, you go up like to 6 right, 6 left, and 7 right, 7 left. It becomes a huge burning. And now I'm gonna do the opposite. So I'm gonna do abduction. So I'm gonna train the internal part of the thigh, the main abductors. And now in order to do this, I'm gonna use something to slide on the floor, right? It doesn't matter what that is. And I'm gonna start here with my feet close to one another, and the foot that is gonna move, all right, is gonna be, in this case, it's gonna be my left foot. And so the right one, I will rotate it a little upwards, right, like this. And now very simply, I'm going to try to keep this leg straight, so looking forward, so not rotating inwards like this, not rotating it upwards, just leaving it pretty much looking forward, the patella here looking forward. And here I'm just sliding. I have most of my weight on this leg, but then as I'm sliding, I'm moving towards that side, you can see, right? So from here, and then here, trying to initiate the movement with this left leg here, and really trying to squeeze and to bring the leg closer again. So that is pretty much the movement. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. Now changing leg, so it's now the opposite. This one rotating upwards a little bit, this one straight. 1, 2. Yeah, I'm taking too much time here talking and not doing the reps, so I'm going pretty slow. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20. Alright, so now another exercise that you can do for adductors right here is going to be a lot simpler, and it's going to be more of a more of a stretch, alright, movement. So you're trying to pretty much lower yourself as much as possible, trying to keep your feet and your knees especially not inwards but neutral, and then from here trying to like reach the ground, and then you go up again, reach and go up again. And here you need to keep the abductors like stretching, but they also need to be not letting your foot out too much. So it's just a dynamic movement here that you can do to just isometrically you're training your abductors, because they need to not to keep their feet from just sliding away too much. And this should be 20 now. Here we go. All right. Okay, good. Okay, moving forward here pretty quickly. Now talking about hip flexion. Now in this case, you just need something like a step, and this movement is already hip flexion, and that's it. So I'm gonna do this for 20 reps each leg. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 8, 9, and 20. So this is to train more the lower part of the flexion. Now the next 20 I'm going to train the upper part. So I'm going to start from here, and from here I'm going to just lift up my foot and then placing it on the step again. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's very easy here to try to cheat by laying backwards, so you need to really be on top of your leg. And if you want to train a little bit more the psoas instead of the rectus femoralis, you just need to strengthen the knee a little bit. So for example like this, and then trying to do the same movement. It's going to be a lot harder, but yeah, you can do this to just target a little bit more the psoas, iliopsoas. Okay, that's 20. And now, yeah, the other leg. So again, like 5 like this, very easy. All right, and now here with the knee extended a little bit. Okay, so those were hip flexion. Now going into hip extension. We're training primarily the glutes and as well the hamstring muscles. And yeah, for this one, the easiest one is the hip bridge. So like this, you can do it with both legs at the same time, and you just lift up. You try to initiate the movement by posteriorly tilting the hips and then activating the glutes. So it's not this, alright, but it's this. So I don't know if you can see like the difference in rotating, posteriorly tilting the hips before you go up. Alright, that's 20, and now you can just change this exercise just by doing by using single leg, so just doing it on one leg, and with the other one you can make it easier just if you just lift it up and you leave the other leg like this. You can make it harder if you just straight the leg up, and yeah, I'm going to just show you both variations here. So just one leg here in this case. It's pretty much is the same, but you need to do the movement with just one hip. Always trying to really push through and to extend as much as possible. Oh. Alright, that's 10. So now I'm going to just change legs. Yeah, those were more than 10. Whatever. I'm doing just more reps than what I should be doing. And then here you can even like make it a little harder by just straightening up your leg like this. Yeah. You can see that I'm all trembling when I'm trying to hold at the end of the movement. My leg is like trembling a little bit. And yeah, that's normal. Alright, that's 10. Here we go. Those were the total reps here. 40. Alright, for the extension of the hips. Now I finished the hips. So I've done, as you can see, exercises for every single movement. And now going down into the knee, of course, we have extension, where we're gonna mainly use the quads. And then we have flexion of the knee, where we're gonna use hamstring and calves, the gastrocnemius muscle. And now, because here there are just a ton of different exercises you can do, I'm gonna just show you some that you're gonna do with both of your legs together, and then single leg exercises. So let's start here with the very simple squats. So you can do them normal stance, and yeah, you just go down, knees 90 degrees, and then you go up. Always trying to keep your trunk here straight, so looking at the ceiling, not bending it forward. All right, and yeah, try not to bring your knees inwards, but the knees always follow the toes. All right, like this. And yeah, this is just simple squats. You can do also this variation in which you are on a wall like this, and then you just, I don't know if you even can see me, but I'm gonna do it right here. So you're on a wall, right? And you're gonna just slide down and up, down, up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, then more squat variations. One that I've seen on physical therapy, and I find it very nice, especially when you are rehabilitating the ACL, so the anterior cruciate ligament, is you're in this, pretty much in this sumo position, toes upwards, and you're trying to go down with your knees always following your toes. You don't want your knees to cave in. All right, so that's the movement you're trying not to do here, and you just go as low as possible as your stretch, so as your adductors are gonna be as your adductors can do, because like if they are too tight, they're gonna bring your knees inwards, and of course that is not good. So just going down, when you feel like your knees are giving in, you just go up. So these are very nice squat stance that you can do to like stretch your adductors dynamically. And you're like this. So up, down, down, knees upwards. here I can feel a lot the stretch, so, and I feel my knees like already caving in, so I'm gonna go up, yeah, like this. So, this is a very nice variation as well. Yeah, I'm gonna do just 20 of this, why not? Okay, here we go. Now there are of course more exercises for the quads. But in this case, just talking about single legs, so just doing one leg at a time. And in that way you can train more specifically and you can train harder the muscles. So my favorite is the reverse lunge. So I don't like the forward lunge, because if you do this and then you go down, see the knee, it's very easy that it just goes too much forward over the toes. So to not do that, very simple, you stand like this and you move the other foot, the other leg behind, and so it's guaranteed that the knee will be in line with the foot. Alright, and yeah, that's just the reverse lunge. It's something I really enjoy, and it's pretty safe for the knees in case you have like knee pain. All right. Here we go. I'm not even counting, so I don't know how many lunges I've done so far. I'm going to do just some more to be sure I'm about 20 for each leg. Alright, yeah, this should be it, pretty much. Then another one here for the squats. Single legs are the Bulgarian split squats. In this case, you're gonna need something to put your foot behind, like this. And then there are two variations, so you can do this exercise. You can do it with your trunk very much straight, so you go down like this. Alright, I'll push. Alright, like this. And I'm gonna do 10 of these. Okay, 10. Changing the legs here. Alright, so that is the, oh man, that is the first variation that you can do. You can do another one where instead of being straight with your trunk, you are laying forward, and that is going to make you use a little bit more the glutes than the quads. So in this case it would be like this. So I'm laying forward and I'm doing this. Alright, 10. Ooh. Man, it's getting a little hot here. Okay, 10. Good. And I'm gonna just sit down a little bit. And now there is another variation. Yeah, the pistol squat. That is very, very advanced, and I'm gonna just show you here a couple of reps. I recommend, if you, like for example, I do not really have problems in terms of like strength, but in terms of balance and coordination. So you just need a wall here, something is gonna help you balance, and that's it. So in this case, pistol squat, you just have one leg in front of you, and you can go down at different degrees. Now you can go 90 degrees, and then you can go up. So it's pretty simple. It's pretty much like a Bulgarian, right? Like this. Up. Or you can go a little lower, but still not touching with your butt the foot. So you can go like here and then up, like this, here and up. Or you can go all the way down until you pretty much rest on top of your foot, so like this, right? And then you go up, and yeah, you just change sides, and you do it for the other leg. So again, like halfway through, it will be something like this. Going a little lower is something like this. Or going all the way down is something like this. Alright. And yeah, those are the other variations of the pistol squat. Alright, and that is pretty much knee extension. So now let's quickly jump into knee flexion. And here in this case, we're using hamstrings, so gastrocnemius, and especially yeah, hamstring and gastrocnemius. I don't know what I was saying, but so again here, very simple exercise is just all right, laying down. You have something below your feet to slide, and then from here you're trying to keep your hips from not touching the ground, and you're just sliding your feet away. See here, I'm not touching the floor, and then back in. Right, sliding and back in, sliding and again. Okay, nice. So that's the first exercise you can do. And yeah, you can do that with hamstrings. It's pretty simple. You can try to do it, like a hold, isometric, with just one foot. For example, like this. So you have one foot in the air, right? And then you're trying to slide the other foot away, and then trying to hold and not touching with your butt the floor. Right? Like this. It's gonna be a very slow eccentric, and then you touch. You come up again, go up, and you start sliding again. Alright, so you do it for both feet here. I'm just doing some reps here because I don't have enough time to like show you everything. Alright. One and another one here. Okay, these exercises in like eccentrically are very, very powerful for the hamstrings, because like concentrically we're not going to really be using them a lot, but it's more the eccentric contraction that is going to keep them healthy, it's going to keep them flexible, and yeah, it's the best thing to do. And now here I'm going to show you also for the hamstrings the Askling protocol. That is something that we use in physical therapy to help athletes that or like general people that have suffered muscular problem on the hamstring. So these are, I don't know why I put that away. So these are going to be 3 exercises that are called extender, the diver, and the glider. So the first one is pretty easy. You just grab your, in this case I'm going to do it for both legs, but you grab the leg when you have the problem on the hamstrings, right? Then from here you're just extending the knee. So you can see that here I'm not even able to like keep the hip at 90 degrees because I have pretty tight hamstrings. So I need to go a little lower. And yeah, so this is what you do. This is the extender. And again, here we're going to do 10 reps for this leg. Okay, and now we're just doing the other one. And this is very, very effective at you are activating your hamstrings again, like eccentrically. You are doing like a dynamic stretch. And yeah, you start with this one that is the lowest in intensity, alright? And then you go now into the diver. In this case is made like this, so you're just standing and you pretty much simulate a dive. So standing on one leg, you're gonna rotate and you're gonna reach this position where like this leg is going behind, in the back, the arms are balancing, and you're trying to, and you can feel really the hamstrings here, again stretching, but this time activating because you need to control. And so this is more an exercise when you can really, you can start activating more the hamstrings compared to the other one when it's just like more passive. Oops, balance. Alright, I'm going to just change legs now. Oops. Here we go. And now the final step that is the hardest exercise is the glider. And in this case you need something on your side. In this case I'm going to use the TV here. Now the foot you're training is going to be the one that stays in the front. So in this case I'm going to start training my left leg, left hamstring. And now here it's pretty simple. You just glide with this leg backwards. You lift the toes up from the ground, so you're just standing with the heel here. A little bit of flexion of the knee, and you're just gliding backwards, trying to glide as much as possible as your hamstring is going to let you. And then here you just reset, and and then again. So it works like this. So you glide, 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 and then here I'm going to just reset, and again. So it works like this, and it's a very, very powerful exercise again for the hamstrings. In this case, this is already a total eccentric movement, and yeah, it's gonna, as I said before, this is the perfect exercise to really start training your hamstrings and making them healthier, so you can reduce the probability of having another hamstring injury. All right, here we go. Ooh. And now just changing foot here. Yeah, it's the same. All right. I hope I don't touch the wall. Yeah, I'm touching the wall, so I need to go forward. Right. All right. This thing is not sliding anymore. I don't know if it's because I'm just sweating all around, but it's not. Come on, glide. It's not gliding. Yeah, here I have the wall again. Just right here. Yeah, here should be perfect. Right, good. Okay. Nice. And here you're also stretching hip flexor. So yeah, it's just a wonderful exercise. Okay. Nice. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm gonna just do one more here. Okay, nice. So, Asklin protocol done. Hamstring exercises done. So I think here, yeah, we move into the final joint, foot and ankle. And now here, I'm gonna show you both plantar flexion and dorsal flexion. Now, dorsal flexion is something that we use a lot in like walking and a lot of different movements, but we don't actually do it as an exercise. So we don't train tibialis anterior, the extensor of the hallux, the extensor of the little toes here, the other four, and I think that's just too bad. So it's a pretty easy way to train them. You can do two things. Now you can just stay with your back on a wall, all right, like this, and pretty much like a calf rise, but here you're just in the other way around. And from here, you're just lifting up your toes and down. Lifting up your toes with the knees straight, down. Toes and down. And the more weight you put onto your, so the lower you go, the more weight you're going to have to be able to lift your toes up, right? So you can do it with both toes at the same time. You can do it with one toe, with one foot at a time. So like here, lift up, hold, down, up, hold, down. Or you can do it with the other one. Yeah, you have to do it with the other one, like this. Or even more simple is here I'm gonna take my shoes on because otherwise the floor is hard and it's hurting on the heels. Alright, and then here, so you're just standing, you lift your toes up, and then you just walk with your toes up. You just go around. I don't know, you're gonna do full circle here, I don't know. Knees always straight, and you're just keeping your toes upwards. As you are moving around, you can just be standing still. We're normally standing still sometimes, just for the balance, it's not that great. And yeah, that's it. So you stay like this for about 30 seconds, or you do, I don't know, 30 steps, and this is already a very good train for these muscles. for the dorsal flexion. All right. And then of course we have plantar flexion. So in this case we're training the calves, and there are two main muscles, the gastrocnemius and the soleus. To train the gastrocnemius, you need to have your knees straight. To train the soleus, you need to have your knees bent. And that's the only thing that's going to change when you're going to do this exercise. So in this case, you can do it with both feet at the same time. You can do it with your toes in the front. You can do it with your toes upwards, like this. You can do it with your toes inwards, like this. And all these positions are going to just slightly change the part of the gastrocnemius, especially that's going to work more the medial part or the lateral portion. And you can do all these variations that I showed you also with one leg. So you lift up one and you do the same. So toes in the front, toes upwards. Or toes inwards. And you do the same for the other leg. So now I'm going to just do it very quickly. I'm doing 5 of each variation here, because I have a lot of variations to show you. Alright, then also here, important as always, you can add an extra hold and then eccentric contraction. So in this case you can just go up, you can hold in this top position, and then in this case it's better just to do it with one leg. So you go up, and then from here you're trying to lower yourself very, very slowly, like this. Then you go up again, hold, and then you lower yourself slow. And yeah, this is again like this is going to be more an eccentric contraction, but it's very nice, and as always it's going to keep your muscles and your tendons healthy doing eccentric exercises. And you can do these eccentric movements in all variations. So your foot upwards, your foot inwards is the same. Now for the soleus, as I said before, the only thing you have to change is how you have the knee. So in this case you're going to have your knee flexed, so you're going to be in this position, and from here you're going to do again like plantar flexion, so lifting up your heels. In this case the soleus, you can't really make more, so use more the medial or the lateral portion, so leaving your feet towards like your toes in the front is like the best option. So you're not going to be activating more the soleus if you just move your toes upwards or inwards, it's the same. And here you can do the same with just single leg, right, like this. And you can do again, hold, up, you hold, and then you lower yourself slowly, eccentric, and so on. So it's pretty simple. And then finally here, I wanted to spend 2 words on the ankle and the foot in both supination and pronation. Here though I need this elastic band. Right, here we go. And now here, these movements of the foot are very, very important when we are walking, running, every time that we are like standing, because our foot need to be mobile. So our feet need to adjust to the terrain on where we're walking. So if there are stones, or if the ground is not smooth, we need to have the ability with our feet to change and to be able to adapt so that we don't fall down, right? And all these movements here are pretty much all included into supination and pronation. So supination is the ability of the foot to do this, so to have the lateral portion going down, right, and the middle portion going up. So this is supination, all right? So this, like this, all right? Instead, pronation is the opposite. So your middle part of the foot is going down, and then the lateral portion is going up. So like this, all right? Of course, here I'm moving the tibia a little bit because the tibia is at the joint here, the talocrural joint, but it's pretty much a movement on the subastrogalic and on the middle foot here. So there are certain muscles that are going to be pretty deep that are going to help us in having this ability of turning the foot. Now, if you're someone like me that has flat foot, you can compensate this flatness of the foot. That means that we're lacking the medial arc here on the foot, right? Because of our structural, the bones are slightly different, maybe the ligaments are not that strong, and yeah, there can be very, very different cases. But remember that you can always correct this unless it's something that it's caused by a bone problem, so something that you need surgery. But most of like weaknesses in terms of ligaments and all the stuff can be always like cured or compensated by our muscle activity. And in this case, especially the tibialis posterior and the flexors of the toes are gonna have this job in strengthening the medial arc. So if you have flat foot, a very simple exercise that you can do, that is an exercise here to train in supination, right, is you place an elastic band like this right on top of your foot, and you can see that the elastic band is pulling the foot in dorsal flexion, and then here I'm pulling a little bit also upwards, so I'm pulling also in pronation, right? You can see that my foot is like this, so it's in dorsal flexion and pronation. And so this is stretching completely the tibialis posterior. And now here I'm just supinating, so that means that I'm flexing frontally, but I'm not just flexing going down, because otherwise I would be using the gastrocnemius and the soleus. But I'm not just focusing on going down, but I'm moving the foot like this, so moving it towards the inside, right? You can see the difference here from the front. Like this is just going with the foot down, right? But now here what I'm doing is I'm doing this. So see the difference? The foot is always going into plantar flexion, but is going into supination, more into supination. And in this case, I'm activating more the tibialis posterior. And this muscle can be strengthened if you need to help you at correcting the flat foot. So at strengthening the medial arc of the foot. And yeah, so just letting the muscle stretch here and then supinate. Stretch, supinate. Right, having the knee extended, you can do it with the knee extended, you can do it with the knee flexed. With the knee flexed, it's a little easier because in this way you are placing the gastrocnemius already in a condition where it can't really do a lot of power, so a lot of force actually is the most correct name. And you can do it for both feet, so you can see it's pretty simple. An elastic band pulling your feet towards you and then towards the outside, trying to leave your foot like relaxed, and then from here you just try to cave your foot in, so bring it's like you're trying to bring your big toe towards you, so towards this side. It's like you're trying to launch with your feet something to the other foot, like so here, and then like this. And with your knee flex, I think it's just a lot better because you can do the movement. You can see that I'm doing the movement better. I can feel the muscle here work better. And yeah, so this is an exercise in supination to train the tibialis posterior to help you, if you have flat foot, at strengthening the medial arc of the foot. And now you can do another exercise to strengthen this time the flexors of the toes. Pretty much you're gonna have to do this. So imagine here you're standing, all right, and you are trying to, here unfortunately I cannot really show it to you like very simply, but yeah, I'm gonna try to do this. So lifting this away, all right. You place like a weight or something that is gonna make things a little heavier, and then from here, look at what I'm doing with my foot. I'm actually grabbing the towel and I'm using my toes to bring it closer to my foot. See? And I'm just using the strength of my toes. I'm not using here anything. I'm not moving the heel. Right? It's just the toes here that are grabbing the towel and are bringing it closer to the foot. And this very easy exercise is going to strengthen as well the muscle that is going to be back down here, and also going to be inside the foot, that also is going to help you at strengthening the medial arc. And yeah, you're going to do it for both legs here, all right, so like this, all right, and then you just start pulling. Like this, all right, and yeah, that is gonna conclude my video. Now here, no, wait, I was almost forgetting about the pronation of the foot. Now this movement many times is not gonna be that important, other than training the peronealis muscles, and in this case, you're gonna just place your elastic band actually opposite, so like grabbing it into something and pulling. Actually, I'm going to just show it to you without any elastic band. So you need your foot to actually be in this stretch position, so in plantar flexion, and then you're lifting it up as I did before. So it's this same movement, all right, but it's not moving the foot upwards, but it's moving the foot to the side. So like this. So can you see the difference? It's not just straight. It's not just straight up, right? It's towards the side. It's pretty much the same as it was for the tibialis posterior. It's the exact same thing, but this time you're just lifting up the lateral portion of the foot here towards the side. And you should be activating here the peronealis muscles, the longus and the brevis, that are here in the side. Right, like this, and you can do it against gravity if you just place yourself in this position, and from here you're trying to do the same movement. So gravity is pulling your foot downwards, and then you're just lifting it up towards the side, and that's it. So yeah, and then of course I'm just showing here one foot, but you are doing of course with both of them. And yeah, that was it. So this is 57 minutes, okay, video. So that was it, guys. That was my 1000 reps video, full leg workout. I hope you enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.